good afternoon. I am Michelle Hayward, Strategic Business Coach. What is going on this Wednesday evening? Hey, Rob Wayne 007. Hey, Perry girls. Welcome, welcome. How are you doing? Hope everybody's having a great Wednesday. Hey, True Naz. Hey, Vanessa. How are you? Glad everybody could come through. I'm Michelle Hayward, Strategic Business Coach, hanging out in Central Illinois tonight. So I thought it would come on and drop a little bit of leadership knowledge. Yeah, I'm on. I missed last night. I was literally on calls and coaching sessions last night for about 5 hours. And let's just say I was tired. I was really, really, really tired. So I am continuing day 5. Day 5, right? Did I say day 5? Yeah, good. It's day 5. I did strength training. Yes, I know strength training wears you out. Wednesdays is my Pilates night. Hey, Rosalind. So I still have my yoga pants. Yes, I am very, very proud of you because you like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And you didn't. But now you're doing it. Now you're doing it. So I'm loving it. I'm loving it. You getting it in. So I got to love that. Hey, Rosalind, I got your text message from last night. I'm glad you got everything in. You got to let me know how it goes. It is hard, but as women, as I was saying at Pilates, the instructor that we have, she admitted that she hates upper body workout. And I was like, but we're women. We need it. Well, yes, year 1. It's year 1. And year 1 is for the first birthday or anniversary of Periscope. So if you do hashtag year 1 in your titles, you will see a cupcake with a single candle. So I love that so much. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and jump in. And tonight's topic is, how do you lead someone or people who are older than you? And I can tell you I do that. And I'm going to start off with this story that happened yesterday. And I couldn't say anything. I just died laughing. So there's a gentleman I work with who is 81 years old, sharp as a Ginsu knife. Dude is on. He is really on it. So he can go out in the construction sites. He can tell the guys what they're doing wrong, what equipment they need. He can talk to clients. He can talk to lawyers. He can talk to property owners. He can talk to the crews. He is ridiculous, right? So he is not good with computers. He admits that, right? He really admits that. So he actually, my boss said, hey, I need you to get him to correct his daily reports. Well, one of his daily reports, somehow he got an old form that had an old project logo on it from a different client. And these reports go every day to our current client. So he didn't realize it. He doesn't know how he picked it up, but we corrected that. This is the funny part. Oh, trust me, it gets better. I specifically show him a way that they want the project managers and the client want, hey, Virtual Empress, they want data listed on High LP Photo 101. They want the data listed on the form. He said, I'm not doing that. I like the way I have it on my form. Let him email me again and ask me. He asked me a month ago. He'll ask me again, but I'm not changing it today. All I could do was bust out laughing. He was so dead serious. He's like, I looked at her, and another construction manager was there. He looked at her, and we looked at each other and just busted out laughing. It's like, what do you say? He's like, he 81. What you gonna do? Fire him? Really? He's 81. He's like, I already retired twice. He literally comes to work because he enjoys it. It's fun and it gives him something to do. He doesn't come to work for the money, for the benefits. Hey, Pippins, oh not. He comes to work because he literally likes doing it. He's like, I'm not doing that. He'll email me again. And I'm sitting there and I'm not supposed to be laughing, but I just couldn't hold it in. I just let it all out. I'm like, okay. Yes, oh my God, this man, he might have thick glasses, but his glasses probably be as thick as mine, and I'm young enough to be his grandchild. So sometimes when you are a leader, because he comes to me for a lot of information, a lot of stuff. I do a lot of interfacing with him. And I do all his tech stuff for him, half of it, at least. Hey, Amy, welcome. So so for me to actually laugh, sometimes when you are the leader of another or somebody who's older than you, it is great to have humor. It is great. Yes, it is good for the soul. But you connect with the person because they were like, it's like they ask you some of the things on air. Well, did you see any unusual person leave a bag? Well, what's an unusual person? I know none of you. All of you look unusual to me. So describe an unusual person. So something that doesn't fit in. It's an airport. None of that makes sense to me. Everybody's walking every which way. So what's unusual? So sometimes you just have to question stuff. And he was like, I'm not doing it. So you just laugh at it. Well, and it brings about that laughter brings about camaraderie too within your group, especially when you're a leader. What I've learned when I work and I lead older people, I listen to what they say because they do have experiences that I may not have had, and they've seen stuff over. If you're 80 years old, he's seen stuff the last 81 years, almost 82 this year, or even in industry since he's been 19, 20 working in this industry. So you're talking about 60 plus years. So I do listen to it, but I also know as a leader what our objective is. And he does too, which is to get the client a complete project. But on the other side, I know other underlying factors that he is not privy to. Hi, Zakia, welcome. And because he's not privy to it, he will make different comments and try to make different decisions. And I'm like, no, we cannot do it that way. I've already looked into it, or I've investigated, or I will explain why you can't or we can't do it that way. And they'll be frustrated. And I said, I can understand your frustration, but this client, this project, or for whatever reason, we're not permitted to do that. I said, I understand, but let's look at a different way that we can still achieve that same goal, that we can reach it. So it's not exactly, you see their wisdom and you take that into account, but you also know some other restrictions. And you will literally sit there and troubleshoot and work together. But ultimately, I have to make the decision. The onus falls on me. And I don't mind. And I really give this man so much credit because he knows so much and he's willing still to teach. And I'm so willing to learn what he has to offer. But at the same time, as the leader, I have to take the onus on those decisions. So be sure that you still stand firm as the leader because you make the decision. It is not a democracy, but you take into account the older person's experience and what they bring to the table and into the relationship. So that's the biggest part. The other part, sometimes I work with older people and they wrote the code. Yes, it is. You have to continue to learn. And this guy lives in Arizona. He drives his travel trailer. We're in Illinois at 80. At 80 years old. He's like, whatever. He gets on the road and he'll drive and he knows his limits. He's like, I was walking through mud. It took me a little bit longer than it used to take me. He's like, I'll be at the truck in 5 minutes. He's like, okay, how long was it been? 15? Yeah, I move a whole lot slower now. But sharp as a tack. He could tell, yes, life and learning. And he's like, I sold my horses. I had nothing to do, so I came back to work. So it is really, really fun to work with older people who are looking to teach, looking to mentor, and do not consider themselves a know-it-all. And that's when you get the ones who are a know-it-all, trust me, it is a much harder position you're in to lead. And sometimes it takes you, not as a leader to break them down, but as a leader to say, hey, I understand your experience, but this is not how this works. I can take into account what you have to say, what you bring to the table, but you will have to push back harder as a leader to get them to understand. You will take the onus for what goes wrong, and they will take, exactly, and they will get the reward for everything that goes right. And this particular gentleman, his younger brother, who's in his late 60s, used to work. We all worked together on another project. And his younger brother did not work as well in cross-generational positions. His thought was, you're a woman, you do paperwork. My thought was, you're going to have a whole lot of problems. So needless to say, he is no longer with the company. But we picked up his 81-year-old brother, and you're 68, 69. Yeah, it's a whole different type of environment because he wasn't, and the older gentleman, like I told my brother, you don't know how to work with people. That's why you can't get picked back up. It's not that they don't need you, but you can't work with people. And you would know, and it's just night and day from these brothers. But he's like, you don't know how to work with people, and you don't know how to work with, and you just want to be a know-it-all, and you just want to talk about the wrong things in the wrong type of environment. So, in the work environment, rather, yes, he didn't have the best interpersonal skills. I'll say that he had interpersonal skills, but not the best. So, those are some of the things you can do: bring in humor, listening to the older generation, taking into account their experience, but at the end of the day, as a leader, you make the final decision. So those are the things you do, or some of the things you can do when you're leading older people. And guess what? I get to be an older person in like 2 more years. I'll be like 30. And I'm going to stick with that story too. So thank you everybody for coming through. I really appreciate the beautiful hearts. I will be back on tomorrow night at 9:05 p.m. Central Standard Time to do day 6 of leadership. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.